should be alright. Cool. Check. That should be fine for the shot and parking and the pavement. There shouldn't be anyone needing me to move my camera or anything, or myself at all. If a car wants to park there, they can. If anyone wants to walk past, they can. It is a pleasantly hot day. I was going to record this in my studio space, but I've decided I'm going to set my camera up outside, sit in the doorway of my premises, and just do this video this way. So, bit of important news. There's been a development within the YouTube industry which affects the global creator industry, which affects global economy. What do you mean, Sonny? How does YouTube changing something affect the world? Well, YouTube in the past couple of days, I'll hold my mic closer. YouTube in the past couple of days have announced that they're changing, that as of the 1st of February 2027, they are changing the minimum threshold for a creator to become qualified for the YouTube Partner Program from 4,000 hours to double 8,000 hours. Really big deal. I can see what a big deal it is. I've tried discussing this with other creators and they kind of haven't really clicked with how much of a big deal it is. Nevertheless, it means that I now have to explain how big of a deal it is to the global economy through this video. So, first of all, YouTube is the highest paying creator program out there, and there are these things throughout history called recession indicators of something that happens in someone's life somewhere that will indicate whether an economy is in a good place or a bad place. Things such as during the Roman Empire, the citizens began realizing that the empire had fallen because there were no longer soldiers in the streets. Another modern day example would be, society has fallen when your local bins are not being emptied, when waste management on a local village, town or small city scale is not being handled. That is when alarm bells are going way off. For some people that's a thing already, but there are other economic indicators that kind of balance it out. Nevertheless, this is a really big deal. So YouTube is the highest paying creator platform in the world. Anyone who does anything as an online digital creator has a presence on YouTube. Yes, there are restrictions to things like adult content. Yes, there are restrictions to things such as persons of significance that are not only prone, not only likely, but have demonstrated a historic pattern of trying to project the wrong messages to members of the public. Biggest example, I think, is Andrew Tate. His stuff gets flagged up so much because he consistently shows a pattern of projecting the wrong message. So he is not a creator, by example, that would that this new economic change would apply to. Little sippy sip. So he's thank you South Wales, please. Thank you, Grant, please. He's a creator that this doesn't apply to. Nevertheless, if you look at any of your other social channels that offer monetization, if you look at Instagram, if you look at TikTok, if you look at the saturation of creators that are attempting to do something, either whether it's niche, whether it's lifestyle, whether it is done by everyone, whether it's done well, whether it is done by no one, whether it is done poorly, regardless of whatever you see on these broader platforms that are designed more for social or have a more social legacy than what YouTube was. If you see these things, you'll see that there is an overabundance of people that define themselves as creator. That's not a problem. That is your liberty to. If you are one of the 8 billion people on this planet trying to hustle, trying to make something for yourself, trying to create a way out of a bad situation, fine. This is not a disregard of you or what you do or how you go about it. This is an observation of how the greatest creator platform, YouTube, has just decided its minimum threshold for watch hours to become qualified for a YouTube partnership program has gone from 4,000 hours to 8,000 hours. Car's just pulled up. I hope he doesn't reverse into my camera. My camera is perfectly portioned for a space away, so he can keep coming. Yeah, you can keep coming. That's fine. No, you gonna go the other way. Side. No worries. This is a really, really big deal because for creators that are monetized already, fine, not a problem. For people that try to become monetized through YouTube, who try to secure creator programs, it instantly raises a bar for a lot of people, particularly people that I know have been grinding for years, whose channels still aren't monetized. My YouTube channel isn't monetized through the YouTube partner program. My YouTube channel generates revenue through inviting audience members to subscribe to services outside of YouTube. They have to leave the YouTube platform to do that. Purely because the traffic and attention that I generate to my YouTube channel that currently has 323 subscribers, that currently has on average per month 160 views. If I release a good video, it goes up. If I release nothing, it kind of flounders. But there's a steady consistency. I have released over 100 videos. I think this will be video 110, 111. I've released a lot of really high quality videos, some mids and a lot of pours, but nevertheless the catalogue of content is there, and even I myself in a location such as Newport struggles to secure 1,000 subscribers for monetization. Number one, mainly because I waited so long in life to kind of pay attention to it. It's something I should have dove into at age 19, age 20. There's some videos on there that I've taken them off my listings, and they're hidden. They're well preserved, those videos. There's some videos from when I was 18, 19 that I've uploaded. And it is a career path I should have gone into sooner. Nevertheless, because of things that happened in my life that prevented me from being able to apply myself in this way, because of a lack of utility, because of a lack of direction, YouTube was on the back burner for a really long time. It was something that I thought that I would always get to it. Like, I thought I would generate a stage for myself first, and then YouTube will follow after that. I was very naive. While I was going through what I was going through, the world changed. Everyone became very utilitarian. Everyone became a creator. There was a massive push for user-generated content, UGC, and so we began seeing this overlap from social media platforms. For people who were creating really good content for social media platforms, they were able to adapt slightly, create it for YouTube. We had YouTubers who were great at creating YouTube content who had to adapt ever so slightly to turn their content into social content. And so this is where the YouTube immersion into social platforms kind of came about. It saw an astronomical boom. We've heard from legacy creators who were dominant on YouTube back in the day, and then filter through into social media, social platforms afterwards. We've heard from legacy YouTubers that the payment from doing YouTube work isn't as great now. Nevertheless, it still remains the greatest paying platform for creators. So this is a really big deal, because number one, it means that all the people in the area, we will look at Newport first. So it means that all of the people in Newport that were struggling to get 4,000 hours of view time now have to get 8,000 hours, unless they can get 4,000 hours before the 1st of February, which, when I calculated it, was 123 days away, which, as at the time of recording this video, I think is 120 days away. So by the time I publish this video, we'll call it 119 days away. There is 119 days for any Newport-based YouTube creator who doesn't yet have a qualification for the YouTube partnership program to get your 4,000 hours, to get your 1,000 subscribers, and get it done. There are small YouTube groups set up on. There are small Facebook groups for YouTube. There are small Facebook groups set up already for Newport YouTubers, but I personally, I've absconded from Facebook. I'm absolutely abstaining for moral reasons, for political reasons, for ethical reasons, for huge international violation reasons. I'm not effing with Facebook. Instagram is barely lucky, but only because it came in after. It wasn't one of the initial projects conceived by Mark Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel. I'm not playing part in it. So luckily, thankfully, Instagram has a way out. But again, it's not a dominant platform. TikTok, I'm 50-50. YouTube, I'm still 100% on YouTube. I see YouTube's bigger picture. I know what it is, and while they're not as strong in some areas going forward as other big tech companies are, YouTube has the greatest space for a better world. If a better world is going to come from anywhere, it's going to come from YouTube. So they will be the main platform going forward. And I had to make this video because it connects with a few other things. My 18-year-old sister, who's now going off to uni because she's been accepted for her course. Congratulations, big up to you. I recently discovered a new social page from her across my feed, and one of the questions was, how do you become an influencer? And I loved it. I was like, yeah, no, you're really looking at it the right way. You're creating the right kind of content. So I think this is me. This is my swan song to kind of pass this on to the 18-year-old creators, the teen creators, the young adult creators, the young 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, mid-40s, like whatever age you are, however you want to go about your creative career, go about it. Yeah. Come. He was going to park then, but he decided not to. My camera's not in the way. His car was quite long though, so I think he measured it up compared to the car in front. He was like, this is something I want to deal with. So yeah, really important for young creators to get this knowledge now, that if they don't sink their teeth into YouTube straight away, it's going to be much harder down the line, because this is not a guaranteed inevitability. We've seen 8,000 hours become the threshold in 120 days time. What's to say that the threshold doesn't then go from 8,000 to 16,000? What if we don't see that? What if we do see that? What if we see the threshold go from 1,000 subscribers to more? What if the requirement becomes 2,000 subscribers? Very close. Foot away. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, what if we see the subscriber threshold go to 2,000? What if we see it go to 5,000? What if we see that Newport YouTube creators must, in the future, say, I don't know, 2028, 2029, summer, winter, whenever, what if we see that the threshold for Newport-based YouTube creators from a city with a population of 150,000, from a surrounding area of 300,000, from a country of Wales with 3 million population, what if we see these YouTube creators have to get a YouTube subscriber count of 10,000? What if that becomes the minimum? The what if, okay? What if the minimum requirement is 100,000 hours? Is it a case of, if any local creator does not reach that standard, does their content then become inconsequential? Is it, we have to meet the minimum threshold of what is required, dictated by the highest platforms, before our content is allowed to become relevant in the slightest. Is this the new industry becoming the old industry? And when I say old industry, I quite literally do refer to the old creative industries, old music industry, old media industry, where everything was legacy. You needed word of mouth, you needed networking, you needed to know the right people to open the doors for you. Yes, you could go off and get a university level qualification. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for being in the way. I tried keeping it as like a distance away, but thank you very much. Sorry? To the best of my knowledge, it is, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, what if we see Newport YouTubers need to reach such an unreasonable standard based off our local ecosystem? So you need to stop looking at it for a moment, as in, you have access to the internet, you have access to millions of people, you have access to everyone on the YouTube platform. Okay, fair enough, the possibility is there, but what we realistically have access to, what is really on our doorstep, what is really within arm's reach, is access to our local population. As you saw, the traffic warden just walked past. So, Ola, how you doing, my friends? How you doing, brother? I'm going to pause this here a second, speak to my friends. I'll finish this, I'll wrap up, I'll lock up, I'll come over in minutes. Thank you, brother. Amazing stuff. That was a new friend of mine, Ola. He is a local tailor. I've asked him to tailor a suit for me so I can do a photo shoot. Now that I'm looking a bit more piff, wouldn't you say? Yeah, so the long and short of it is, if we stop looking at if we start looking at the maybe, if we start looking at the yes, if we start looking at what we do have, the reality is, for a single creator based in Newport to need a subscriber count, to secure a subscriber count of something such as 10,000. I know it's not that, I know it's 1,000, but 10,000 is such a tremendous ask on our local infrastructure that to pursue such an end would require an individual to put themselves in such a tense and difficult position that it would have knock-on social effects within the city. And I think broadly, this is why a lot of the local creators I've seen right now are still in the hundreds of subscribers. They've 300s, 400s, 500s. There are local YouTubers. Did I say subscribers or YouTubers? There are local YouTubers who are monetized. They do have over 1,000 fans. They have, in fact, some of them have over tens of thousands of fans. There's one page in particular that I can think of that I've checked out in the past. They do hour-long monologues and narrations and lore retellings of things to do within Lord of the Rings. So they literally take a character or a scene or a story or an aspect, an element from the Lord of the Rings world, and they go in on detail. And I don't just mean the cinema version of the Lord of the Rings. I mean, they go in on the narration. And I've checked that out, and they've had tremendous success with that. From the best of my knowledge, they've had so much success with it that they've gone on to have several other businesses within the city centre. I think they're doing okay. From the last I've heard, they're doing all right. But yeah, they're good. They're okay. There's other people. There's Spud Boys. Shout out to Mikey. There's Brogan. I know Brogan Livewire, the artist, live from the south side. He qualified for monetization recently, or at least I think he surpassed the subscriber count. I'm not sure how he's doing on views, on watch time. And again, it's both parts of it that are relevant. Not only do you need the fan base, not only do you need the support, not only do you need the structure and the audience, but you need the attendance from the audience. Okay, it's very, very easy to say, yeah, I'll be your friend, but then to get them to show up as well. Again, it's not difficult. I've had videos with thousands and thousands of views. One of my older podcast episodes with Super Darkers, particularly from the MF podcast, I know all of that stuff has moved on to a new channel, but I still have the analytics from the old videos. Killing it. He was a figure that deserved his screen time, and because he was a person in the area that deserved it, a lot of people paid attention into that. I'm quite sad about the production quality because I tapped the screen at the last second and it took everything out of focus. But yeah, there are examples of there are examples of things that can be done. As long as the content is produced, as long as the content is there, it is ready to be watched. As long as the subscribers have access to the channel, they're able to subscribe. You know, as long as the incentive is there for the audience to want to see what the creator creates, they will subscribe. This is a particularly long video. This has gone on very unscripted. This has gone on very unstructured. Nevertheless, I hope I have imparted a wealth of information to anyone. That a lot of it I'm holding back for the next video on how to be an influencer. Yeah, definitely how to be an influencer. There's a lot of things. Number one, break it down. Look at the word influence. What influence are you imparting? If you are an influencer, if the influence is coming from you, what influence are you imparting? Is it positive? Is it negative? Who are you trying to influence? Who do you influence? What influence do you have? Break it down, look at it, look at who you want to be, look at where you want to go, because this stuff is a marathon. You build it brick by brick. I didn't get all of my tens of thousands of pounds worth of equipment in one day, in one night. No, that was spread out over 3 years. Okay, you get the essential stuff first, you get the ball rolling, then it changes into something else, then you realize you need another piece. Yes, it's expensive before the money comes, before the money starts coming in as nicely as it should, but the money does come in, the opportunities come in, you establish yourself, you get the content out there. It is a business in as much of it is you being yourself. There are things that you should never take to camera. There are things that you should never say on microphone. There are things that you should never, ever deprive of the right of privacy within your private life. But we'll be damned if we don't want to see more human stuff from humans. I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm going to go see my friend Ola. He's probably going to measure me up for some suits and stuff. He's seen my camera. I'll take my camera as well. I've got some steaks in my bag. I need to get my steaks home and feed myself and my dog. I've got half a bag of ice. I've been wandering around the city centre with this. This was full. I bought this from Lidl like an hour ago, and I was wandering through town just dabbing myself, washing off. That's why there's no hat for this one. That's why there's spiky, squiffy hair. So if you've seen any bald spot, I don't care. I've come to terms with it since the age of 16. So yeah, the hair that I do have left, I'm just gonna style it and look after it. In this heat, dying for a haircut, to be honest. Skin fade on the sides, let the top and back grow. And then if the top and back get too long, trim it back, but always skin fade on the sides. I love the feeling of like being able to run my fingers like from skin to skin to skin into hair. So that's pretty cool. Thank you everybody who's watched this video. If there are any specific questions that people want answered, please leave them in the comment section. If there are anything, I'm planning, I think this is so urgent, there needs to be a Newport YouTubers summit. So I'm going to speak to a few friends of mine, a few people that I know are still doing stuff. Like I said, I'm not using Facebook. I don't want to use Facebook. I hate with a passion a lot of stuff that's going on there. I've seen destruction, and that is destructive. I'm going to speak to them. I'm going to see if we can switch our community to something a bit more anti-Zion, anti-Goy book. I'm going to speak to them, see if they know about it, see what their feelings are, see what their anticipations are. I'm strategic. I'm tactical. I'm very tactical. I anticipate long before the moon blocks the sun. So yeah, I really put my work in. The people that know I put my work in, the people that know I put my work in, big up. As for the rest of you, please remember to subscribe, please remember to like, please remember to follow, please remember to check me out on all of my platforms. If you want to help fund the stuff that goes on, please check out my Patreon, www.patreon.com/TheSonney. Patreon, if YouTube's the highest paying creator platform, I think Patreon is close second. I think OnlyFans is really close up there as well, but it's OnlyFans and Patreon where they permit adult content. YouTube doesn't, and so that should tell you the magnitude more of why this is such a significant change to their policy, that as of the 1st of February everybody has to get 8,000 subscribers. Very important, very big deal, very knock-on effect to the local economy. It affects if you gotta look at it this way, it's not the people that do it, it's the people that will stop doing it. Okay, if people realize that the bar has been moved, if the people realize that they don't have to create content, they don't have to pursue this career, they don't have to define themselves, they don't have to maintain a standard within creation, we see knock-on effects. The gap between what is an audience and who are creators thins. It funnels. And then from there we have the creators that get paid, funnels again. So and then we have the creators that, because they are paid, they're able to move things around, because they're able to express their ability, they're able to express their prowess of creation. And we need creation to counterbalance destruction. It's very, very easy to be destructive. It requires tremendous essence to create. So, peace.